Hello there, it's good to be able to speak with you today. So just to give you a quick update with regard to what the new Freedom Day now means for what we can do within the church. So as you are probably aware, all the legal restrictions regarding COVID have now been removed, but we are expected to exercise our own responsibility, our own judgment on this. Within the Church of England, it has been put down that it is the choice of the vicar in terms of what should be in place and what is the safest thing to do. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be doing not massively different. We will be doing a few things differently. So I'm going to go quickly through a few bits and bobs, and hopefully it'll all make sense in the end. So in terms of chairs, seating, and spacing out, and so on, at the moment there are sufficient chairs out. I'm going to put a few more out where necessary, just to make it look slightly more as it used to be. But please do sit wherever you feel most comfortable. Please sit and be aware that there may be other groups who may not want to be intermingling. Be aware that we do have some very vulnerable people who are part of our congregation, and we need to make sure that we are looking after them. Part of being Christian is caring for those who are weaker than ourselves, who are more vulnerable than ourselves. And so part of that is being able to actually recognise that we may not really want to be sitting next to somebody who's not in our household or our bubble. But at the same point, please don't feel that you can't if you are, particularly friends and you really want to sit next to that person. Secondly, masks. I'm going to appreciate that we no longer legally have to wear masks, but I'm going to encourage you, where you can, please do wear a mask. They do reduce the amount of moisture that comes out of the mouth, and so means we can sit more closely together with reduce the risk of transmission. So please, if you are able to wear a mask, please do so. I will continue to wear a mask during the administration of the Eucharist, so actually when I'm laying up and everything, and so on and so forth. But then I'm also quite a distance away from everybody else, so that's not too bad. But please do, where you can, wear a mask. Singing, I appreciate there are a lot of people who have been desperate to get back to singing, and we will be resuming our singing. This is why masks are so important, because there have been so many events where people have been able to sing, and then COVID has been spread because they've been singing. So to counter that, if we're wearing masks and then sing, it should be a slightly safer position to be in, rather than kind of doing away with one and bringing straight in the other. So as things get better, obviously hopefully we can say, we don't need the mask. But let's be a little bit cautious as we go along. Yes, that's seating, that's masks, that is singing. Next, actually, the administration of communion. So when we've been receiving communion, we have been receiving the one kind. For the past couple of weeks, I've just been trialing intinction, which is using a sterile syringe just to put a drop of the wine, the blood of Christ, onto the host, the body of Christ. So therefore, we can receive in both kinds. I'm going to continue to do this, because this means that nobody is cross-using the chalice, so nobody is actually exchanging use of that. I will be providing the chalice. If you are particularly keen on using the chalice, on having the chalice, then it will be available. However, it is not necessary to have the chalice, if that makes sense. So do not feel you have to drink from the chalice if you would rather not. Because A, communion in one kind, i.e. just the bread alone, is a valid communion. B, all the communion wafers will have intinction. They will have a drop of the blood of Christ placed upon the middle, and so there you will be receiving in both kinds just from receiving the host. So please do not feel obligated to use the chalice if you do not wish to, but at the same point, if your own particular theology is particularly strong in you would like to receive from the common cup, then it is available for you to do so. So I think that covers the majority of the main points. The last one would be track and trace. So obviously we have been either using the app or writing our names down. Now this has always been optional, but I would encourage you to continue to do so. So far, thank be to God, it's not been used, and that data gets destroyed after 3 weeks. But just if we have a list of who's present, it means that should we have any problems, we can give it to Public Health England to make sure that we can keep people safe. So these are all the kind of the changes. Well, they're not massive changes, to be fair, but this is what's going to be happening in services come Sunday. For St Mary's, for the choir, I have spoken with Andrew, the choir master, and the plan is that you'll regather in September. Because to be fair, we're most of the way through July already, and you'll be normally having your August as your month off anyway. And also because we haven't sung for 18 months, getting your voices back in, getting used to singing as a choir again will take some time. It's only natural, and so Andrew's going to be working with you to arrange that, but he will be speaking to you directly with regards from that. So from this Sunday, we'll be using a combination of recorded and live music, St Mary's, and we'll be using the live music which we've been using at St Thomas. Sorry, the recorded music we've been using at St Thomas's as per usual. Please do watch out for each other. Please be aware that we do have some very vulnerable parishioners. We will have people who will be feeling very nervous as well. So it's really important that we do just take care, watch out for each other, and just be safe. For the peace, which is the last thing I'm going to speak about when we'll talk about vaccines, the peace we will still be sharing at a distance. It's if you want to share it by handshake, that's fine, but actually you can share it at a distance, and that works. So just again, see how other people are feeling. If you'd rather not shake hands, that's okay. You don't have to if you do not wish to. So just be aware of each other's how you're feeling, how you're responding to things, and just be courteous and be careful. The last thing is vaccines. I mean, I know a lot of you had vaccines. That's brilliant. If you haven't had your vaccines yet, please get your vaccines, because it actually reduces the chance of transmission. It reduces the chance of infection. If you do get infected, the evidence suggests that it does reduce the severity of the infection. So these are all wins, and these are all positives. And actually, if we get everybody double dosed, we should be able to say, you know what, we can get rid of the mask. We can do a lot more, and things can become much more normal. But we have to be aware there will be some people who can't have a vaccine, some people who won't have a vaccine, and these are people we still need to be caring for. And we just need to be aware of actually what our actions are and how we respond to that. So a long message. I appreciate a lot of information in there. I will keep track of it, and hopefully as the cases go down, we'll get less infection rate, and that's brilliant. And we can say, you know what, let's get rid of the mask. But let's be a little bit cautious. But otherwise, we throw all the kind of the protections off, we could end up being a little bit shook, and I don't want to see people get sick. So God bless you all, and I shall see you on Sunday. Take care.